God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear. Even though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though its waters roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with its swelling, there is a river whose streams shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacle of the Most High. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God shall help her just at the break of dawn. The nations raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come, behold the works of the Lord, who has made desolations in the earth. He makes wars cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and cuts the spear in two. He burns the chariot in the fire. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge.
Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to JM Journal. It's Julian here. Welcome to another week. It's so good to see you. I can't see you, but you can see me. It's so good that you're joining me today. I just want to say thank you for those that have reached out, especially since I've posted my first one in a while, last week or a few days ago actually. So just thank you for that. What I want you to do, never forget this: share it, like it, subscribe to the channel, get somebody else to subscribe to the channel. This is a real journey, man, and I know that it will help somebody along the way, as much as it is a help to me as well. So make sure that you're sharing this with somebody. Make sure that other people are able to hear what has to be said in this season. Yeah, so I don't envisage this being a long one, just because, you know, as I always say to you guys, I'm not going to force content, you know. I'm not going to force things when things don't need to be said, but definitely want to make sure that I'm checking in with you guys more regularly, the same way that in my actual journal, you know, I write down things every day, you know. So yeah, just in terms of where I'm at and how since the last time we spoke, not much has changed. Still very much navigating some things, and I don't really see it kind of resolving itself for a minute, but just navigating the space, you know, making sure that I stay up in my emotions and my moods, not allowing any situation that may not be favorable, or allowing anything that should upset me or get me down to derail me. One of the things that I've kind of been focusing on in this season, and where, you know, things seem to be a bit up in the air in certain areas in life, is ensuring that my response to things is different to what it was and what it has been in the past. Self-awareness is so important, and, you know, not only self-awareness is important, but then it's about acting on that self-awareness in the right manner. So, you know, I think in what I'm facing and what I'm experiencing and what I'm kind of going through and all that, you know, as much as I have self-awareness to know, okay, you know what, right now I might be feeling a little bit down, or at this moment I might feel like a bit fragile or whatnot. How am I responding to that? Because in the past it would have been a whole different thing, and growth only is shown when things change, you know. And with that, sometimes you have to make specific decisions. You might have to make decisions that you probably weren't comfortable doing before, to ensure that for me anyway, to ensure that I respond correctly. I don't know I can't remember the quote right now, it's gone. I think it's actually at the beginning of a song by William McDowell. It's not by him actually. He does a cover of "I Will Exalt You," and he says at the beginning, saying that how we respond to things. There's certain things that we have no control over. There's certain things that we can't manage. We can't micromanage. We can't get into the nitty gritty and try and mastermind things. But he says some things that we can't control, but what we can control is how we respond to things. And that has been something that has been on my mind constantly. How do I respond to anything? Good news, bad news, devastating news, hard times, good times. I said hard times, good times. Hard times, good times. How do I respond? And in that response, it's like, okay, also in that response, what is my witness? And I don't say that lightly, because there's been moments where my response to things has been a poor witness. My response to stress at points has been a poor witness. How do I respond to feeling angry, and rightfully so? Responding and it's that, you think about Philippians 2, let this mind be in you that is in Christ Jesus. It's that thought process, a high level of thinking, or high level of operating that comes through Christ only. That I'm ensuring that I operate in, because brother, if I was to go off my emotions, if I was to go off my feelings, if I was to go off my thoughts, sometimes, it shouldn't be good. But I guess that is the challenge. The daily challenge of the believer is to ensure that what we're doing is Christ-like. And obviously we don't always get it right, and there's grace for that, but we should strive for it. So obviously I do this, it's been a bit intermittent, but at the same time, like, one of the things I've picked back up is actually journaling properly. 'Cause I think I stopped, and part of the reason was I felt like I just couldn't write. I felt like I couldn't put my feelings down on paper, and I think there's a few reasons to that. Maybe sometimes it exposes you, because there's things that I'll write down that I'll never say here. There's things that and when you write things down, sometimes it's even down to like decision making. It's like there's accountability there, because you can go back and say, okay, on this date, this is what I said. And funnily enough, there's something that I did. I even forgot about it, and I'm probably going to do it again now or tomorrow. But in February, I wrote a letter to myself. It says, future me, dear future me. And it's like a website, whatnot. And I wrote it to myself, and there's a few things in there. I said, I hope you're this, and I hope you're that. I hope this is where you are emotionally. I hope this is where you are. That you're doing this and doing that. And it just came out of the blue the other day. I completely forgot about it. And what it reminded me, if anything, it kind of showed me that where in some areas there's been, I've hit the goals that I put down, but then there's other areas where it's like, okay, you still got some work to do. But at the same time, it kind of gave me some form of, it kind of made me feel kind of cool to know that even, it's not that long ago, but like even 6 months ago, I was thinking about certain things. I'd seen it materialize now in a good way. It's cool. So I'm going to do it again. Maybe I'll do like a year, so it just randomly comes up. Because I will forget about it. Because I completely forgot that I did it. And this time next year, or whenever the letter comes through, it'll be nice to know and look back and be like, yeah, the space that I was in now, August 2025, in 2026 is completely different. and astronomically different. You know, I really believe that things can shift in a tremendous way, but only through God. You know what I mean? Only through God. So yeah, that's what's been going on in my mind. I'm really grateful for the people that are showing up for man. Like, in some respects, there's been a removal, or there's been removal. But in some respects as well, there's been some real solid people that have shown themselves as trustworthy, show themselves as, I wouldn't even say loyal, but caring and loving. And in reality, you know, I had a conversation with a mentor figure today, and I was saying that I find it so difficult. I find it so hard to trust people with me. You know, I've got family that I love and care about me, and you know, they know and know the worst parts of me. You know, and I've known the worst periods of my life. But you know, outside of that and my bona fides, you know, who can I trust with me? And it's not about just me in terms of the bits that are the bits where there needs work. It's just everything, you know. Who can I trust with my emotions? Who can I trust with my vulnerability? You know, because as much as I might present a certain type of way, you know, there's a sensitive soul in it. You know, who can I trust to be able to see a full version, not be scared, not run, not betray my trust, you know, all that kind of stuff. And these are the things that I've been thinking about. But you know, when I also think about things, and I think about the people that God's kind of just placed in and around me, like, I'm so grateful because, you know, there's people that aren't afraid of this, aren't afraid of, you know, they don't see flaws and see something to necessarily run from, but they see someone that isn't perfect and want them to, and have a desire for that person to be the best version of who they are. You know, my brother and my brother, you know, two of my brothers said to me even the other day, they said, yo, you have no idea who you are yet. And it's not that I don't know who I am. I think in some respects there's some fear about really being the fullness. I think there's fear about what I'd have to let go to become that. But I think also there's some fear about what that looks like. This isn't the platform for me to talk about that. But yeah, just, I think this season is about embracing, or has been about embracing, me in fullness. And I think before, my understanding or my take on fullness was, me and all my flaws, embracing it, and you know, this is just me. No, when I say fullness, it's about the fullness of Christ elevation in me, and that's the fullness that I'm looking for. And with that, it's separation. With that comes severance. With that comes a distancing from the things and the people and the areas and the spaces that contribute to the false fullness. You know. Yeah. So we're hearing it. It's all good. But I think within myself, ultimately, I am okay. Just navigating some stuff. But I'm okay. I'm good. And you know, I just pray that anyone that's facing a difficult situation or a difficult time, or doesn't understand where the get out is. Just be encouraged that God is with you, and the Lord will fight for you. And this is something that the Lord has been just continuing to. I will fight for you. I will fight for you. I will fight for you. And that's in the face of when it don't look like He's fighting for man. You know. But the word is the word. I was writing earlier. I was just writing some stuff down, and there was something that I was writing down. It was like something along the line. Look, I'm not gonna say it's part of my journal, but like just saying something, and it was contrary to what the word says. So I was writing it down. I said, "This is how I feel," and then immediately this scripture came to my brain. It was like, "But this is what your word says, and this is how I feel, and this is what I'm seeing. But this is what your word says." And every time I wrote something down, the Lord was like throwing scriptures at me to combat, you know, even my humanity, my brain, my thoughts. And this is what it's about, man. This is what the word is. The word is life, man. And, you know, when I was speaking to someone the other day, and they were saying how they've got no motivation, or they feel like they can't even read their word. And I said, look, this is life, man. This is food, man. Do you know what I mean? And I can pinpoint or look at certain periods in my life where certain decisions have been made, or whatever, and I'm like, was I eating, or was I starving? Was I trying to move in starvation? I was weak because I wasn't full on the word. So yes, if you are, like, if there's been disappointment, the word, do you know what I mean? The word, God speaks. It's a living thing. It's not some old stories and old fables. It's real stuff, life-giving word, and let God speak and reveal through His word, and speak to your life and speak to your situation, because that's all you can do. Because man will fail you. You will fail you. Like organizations will fail you. You know, friends will fail you. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, God never fails. And even when it looks like He fails, He doesn't fail. He knows what He's up to. He knows what He's up to. So yeah, I've been chatting for time, man. I thought it was going to be a short thing, but evidently not. But yeah, guys, appreciate you joining me again. You know what it is. Keep going. Keep journeying. Keep journaling. Julian out. Peace.